So what is a tray ceiling? A tray ceiling is an indentation in the ceiling. So it's an area where sometimes people place wood or crown molding, and it's just an accent that's on the ceiling that makes a house look more grand, I would say. I don't know. So the tray ceiling that I designed is right at the front door. And so I would say it's in the foyer. You guys tell me how you're supposed to say that, but I'll say foyer. So right at the entrance of my house, as soon as you walk in, you look up and you're like, whoa. Plus, I have this big old moss wall behind me. So I think people actually take time coming into the house because they're just overwhelmed by everything that's going on. And so they want to take it all in. So I feel like that was my reason for doing it. To give a grand entrance, I really just wanted people to pay attention to the design and what is in my heart, which I just love nature, and that's what I wanted to exude in my house. So I have to hit them hard. They gotta come through the door and they gotta be like, damn! This project took a little bit of time. Now getting the actual pieces together, like the chicken wire and the framing, that was a one-day project. It wasn't that hard, but actually getting the plants was the hardest part because I was getting some of my plants overseas, and when I finished halfway, I realized I didn't have enough, so then I just started ordering locally. So there was a little bit of time in between. And I would say that if I was to eliminate the time between getting the plants, I would say it was maybe a 1 week project if it was just straight through. Where did I get my plants from? Okay, this is gonna sound crazy, but I went to Dubai for my birthday and I went to this place called Dragon Mart, and they have everything under the sun. And they happen to have artificial hanging plants, and that's exactly what I needed, and the price was amazing, and I had an empty suitcase, and voila, we're here now. As far as the locally sourced plants, I ended up getting from Amazon because that was the best price possible. The quality of the plants were not as good as the plants that came from Dubai, and that's why I bought as much as I could when I was in Dubai because the plants were really good quality. So I had to settle for some plants that were not as good quality or as realistic to get the price that I wanted. So I would say about 70% of the plants are from Dubai, and then I got some filler plants that went in between. So everything that's in the tray ceiling is artificial, which is good because with real plants, obviously things die, or even if they're dried plants, things tend to crumble over time. So the good part about this tray ceiling is that nothing is gonna come falling down unless I didn't hang it properly, but it being artificial, it will last. Altogether, including the pendants, it was $2,000, but the pendants alone were $1,500. So I would say with the amount of plants that I have up there, $500 is not bad at all. And that's including the frame and the chicken wire that I had to put up there so that I can hang everything. I would say the difficulty level of this project on a 1 to 10 scale would probably be I would say maybe a 7. The hanging of the plants, it doesn't seem like it's hard. The building of the frame didn't really seem like it's hard, but let me tell you what is one of the most difficult things of this project. When you're standing on a ladder and you have to have your head up like this and your neck is killing you and you have to keep going up and down the ladder to see from the perspective of the floor of what other people would be seeing. So that to me was the most difficult thing because I didn't want to just hang a plant. I wanted to add my artistic ability to it and make sure that I placed things in certain places so that it all came together nicely. And so of course that was really difficult. I want to say that my neck and my back were like killing me every time I was working on this ceiling. So what are the tools that I used? I used a staple gun so that I could attach the chicken wire to the frame. I had to use a saw in order to cut my frame, and tie wraps so that I could tie up parts of the plants up there. Most importantly, you need a ladder.
Any skills needed?
So the skills that would be needed is you do have to kind of know your way around carpentry a little bit, just the basics. You just need to know how to build a frame and how to operate a nail gun to put the frame together, or a staple gun to put the frame together, and how to get it up there. So just minor carpentry skills, you know. Build a frame, that's it, no big deal. When I put up the frame, I think the first thing that I would have done was to add grass mats to make it much easier to hide the ceiling. The chicken wire is up there, but I did not paint the ceiling. It was just plain white. So I had to add way more plants in order to hide the ceiling. And after I realized that, then I had to take some of the plants down, and then I put a grass mat to hide the ceiling. So that is one of the things that I would say is make sure that your ceiling is covered really well before you start hanging the plants, because if it's covered well, then you won't have to use as much plants to cover the ceiling. Any more plans for this area? Absolutely. I've got so many ideas in my head. I can't wait to change my door to a glass door. I want to add stacked stone to the opposite wall. I'm going to be putting sconces on the wall. I'm going to add a table and some decor, and maybe, I don't know what else, but I definitely have more plans for this wall, and I'm just excited. I will definitely be filming everything so you can see the final product. So stay tuned and make sure you watch more of my videos.